Welcome to part 2 of our Diana dress. Okay, this is the first pair of straps. First one marked with the red, second marked with the blue. Make sure to fold this piece so that the red marker faces you, like this, and set it aside to your left. Do the same thing for the second pair of straps. Make sure the fourth piece, this one does not need a stitch marker, is facing you, and lay it to your right. Now this is where we left, this is where we ended row 20, and right where we left off, with this loop here, we're going to slip stitch into the fourth chain stitch of the first space of the red piece. I'm gonna be calling this the red piece because it has the red stitch marker on it. Slip stitch into that stitch there, and just pull this a little bit, so we're gonna come back to it later. Now join the red piece to the blue piece. The end that we left in the previous videos here. Unravel gently that chain 1 stitch so that you do not mess the treble. Okay? And repeat the same thing. Slip stitch into the fourth chain stitch of the first space of the blue piece. So we're going to do that here. Chain 1 and pull that thread tight. Okay? Now flip your work over to your right. So now the blue piece joins the green piece in the same way. Unravel that chain stitch here. If you're watching from your phone and you need to see it better, please zoom in for a close-up. I'm afraid that if I zoom in, I'm gonna get out of the screen frame here. Okay, repeating the same step. Slip stitch into the fourth chain stitch of the first space of the green piece, okay? Once you have joined, chain 1 and pull that thread tight. And one more time, repeat this step for the green piece joining with the fourth piece. Okay, unraveling the chain 1 stitch gently, and then picking that loop up and slip stitch into the fourth chain stitch of the first space of the fourth piece. Now chain 1 and pull that end tightly. Now flip the work again over to the right, and we have our thread with which will continue the work. From now on, the dress will be worked in rounds. These ends, don't worry about them. We will continue working with it for the sleeve if you want to work a sleeve, or we'll definitely work an edging for this if you do not want to have a sleeve. So we're going to join this thread to the new thread in the same way as we did for the shoulder seam here. Okay, now we're ready to start our work in rounds. A few more things before we start our work. Remember our 3 trebles, chain 2 and 3 trebles. I will be calling that a shell from now on, and instead of trebles, I will be working double crochets. The only reason I wanted to switch to double crochets instead of continuing with trebles was because I'm hoping that this will give me a smaller waistline. If you want to continue working the rounds with treble crochets, you can do that. Your garment will probably slightly come out larger than what I intend to make for myself. So if you're somewhere between a medium and a large, continuing in trebles is the way for you to go. Okay, this is how it would look if we were to continue working with trebles. So the only thing that that is different from what I'm doing in the part 2 is the trebles are double crochets in my case, and on this garment they are still trebles. The chains are all the same. I didn't change anything here. Okay, we have 4 points where we joined, right? At the underarm and at the center of either front or back. So in these points we will always have a shell out of 3 double crochets, chain 2 and 3 double crochets. And also the same shell will be worked in the chain 6 spaces. We have only 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. The shell that I will work here and here, they will kind of look the same, but because this is the first round, I will be working them a little bit differently. So I want you to pay attention to those. In the pattern, I will be still mentioning 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets for the shell, but this round is important because only here I will be working them a little bit differently. Round 1. We're gonna have to start with that half shell. You see we have here 2 stitches, 1 treble from the 1 piece and the chain 4 that stands in for a treble from the first piece. Okay. In the same stitch as joined, start with 3 chains, like chain 3 to replace the first double crochet, and then 2 double crochets into this same stitch. Chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Skip next space, which is this one, and next treble, and then work a double crochet into each of the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3. Chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Single crochet into your next space, which is this one. Chain 4. 3 double crochets into the next space, which is this one. Chain 4, single crochet into the next space, which is this one. Chain 4, skip next treble, this one, and start in the next one. So double crochet into each of the next 3 stitches. Chain 4, and the moment has arrived for us to work a new shell. So I'm gonna be saying work a shell, and for the chain 6 space we're gonna do it this way. In the 3rd chain stitch of your next space, which is this, so 1, 2, 3, into this one work 3 double crochets. Chain 2, and in the next chain stitch of this same space work another 3 double crochets. And this shell will be worked this way only for the chain 6 space, only for this round, I guess, or whatever there will be a chain 6 under a shell, okay? And now basically we have to repeat everything from the chain 4 up to the shell. We have to repeat for this part here. So let's work together this one. chain 4, skip next space, which is this, and next treble, and work a double crochet into each of the next 3 stitches. 1 and then 2 and then 3. Chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, single crochet into the next space, chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3 double crochets into the next space, which is this one. Chain 4, single crochet into the next space here, chain 4, skip first treble and work a double crochet into each of the next 3 stitches. Now, at the points where we joined our pieces together, I'm gonna work the shell this way. So first chain 4, and then work into your next treble, which is this one. Work 2 double crochets. In the space between the 2 stitches, between the treble and the chain 4 here, I'm gonna call this into this armhole space. Okay, we have to work double crochet, chain 2 and another double crochet here, and then in your next stitch, which is here, work another 2 double crochets. This end is a little bit uncomfortable now, but it's okay. We do not need to pay attention to it. So that's what you have, okay? So at the armhole spaces, you're gonna work the shell this way, and on top of the chain 6, you're gonna work the shell the way I showed you. And everything in between these 2 shells is basically your stitch pattern that has to be repeated, okay? So repeat this whole section from here to here, all around 3 more times, and I'll see you in the beginning of this round. So I am at the end of round 1, and I have my chain 4 here, and I have to work 3 more double crochets into this stitch. So I'm gonna work 2 double crochets into this treble, 1 double crochet into the space between the 2 stitches, into that center space. Okay, this is the center of the dress, and then not chain 2. Instead of chain 2, we work a half double crochet, or you can work a chain and a single crochet into here if you want, but I don't find this very symmetric. So I will be working a half double crochet into the 3rd chain stitch of our first double crochet. This looks more like it, okay? Round 1 is finished. Round 2, chain 3 to replace our first double crochet, 2 double crochets into this same space. That would be our beginning half shell. Chain 2, skip next space and next double crochet, and work a double crochet into the next double crochet. Chain 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Skip next 2 spaces, 1, 2, and work 2 double crochets into the next double crochet, into the next stitch work double crochet, chain 2, double crochet, and 2 double crochets into the next stitch. We're gonna have to mirror back, so chain 6, skip next 2 spaces, 1, 2, and the next double crochet, and then work into the next one a double crochet. Chain 2, shell on top of the old shell, so that means into the next chain 2 space here you're gonna have to work 3 double crochets, chain 2, and 3 double crochets. And that's all you repeat around from the chain 2 here all the way around in pattern, and end the round with 3 double crochets into the first space, into the very first space, and half double crochet into the top chain stitch of the first double crochet, like this, to replace that chain 2 space.